Welcome back to our channel, Legacy Coins USA. Today, we're bringing you the full untold story of a truly classic American coin, the 1991 D Liberty, In God We Trust, $quarter. This isn't just a piece of metal, it's a symbol of history, heritage, and the everyday life of the American people. So, sit back and relax, because this one coin tells a story that stretches across decades of American pride, craftsmanship, and timeless value. The 1991 D quarter is part of the famous Washington Quarter Series, which began in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the very first president of the United States. Designed to honor leadership and liberty, this coin has carried forward the same patriotic message for generations. The D Mint mark on this coin stands for the Denver Mint, one of the most advanced and historic coin-producing facilities in America. Each coin struck here carries the precision, pride, and passion of American minting artistry. When you look at this coin, you immediately notice the face of George Washington, the father of the nation, engraved with unmatched detail and pride. His profile, facing left, captures not just his likeness but his leadership, courage, and vision. Above his head is the word liberty, a reminder of what America stands for. To the left, the phrase "In God We Trust," a motto that has carried the moral foundation of the nation for centuries. And at the bottom, the date 1991, marking the year this coin entered the world. Flip it over, and you'll find one of the most iconic images in American coinage, the majestic bald eagle. Its wings are spread wide, clutching arrows and an olive branch, representing strength and peace. Above it is the phrase E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. That's America's soul in just 3 Latin words. This beautiful design was created by John Flanagan, a sculptor whose artistic touch gave the coin its distinctive character. His work has lived on every quarter from 1932 until the 1999 State Quarters program, making this 1991 issue one of the last coins with the original Washington Eagle design. Composition-wise, this coin is made from a copper-nickel clad, 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, surrounding a pure copper core. This material was chosen to resist wear and tear while maintaining its shine and durability for years of circulation. It weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge, those tiny grooves you feel on the rim. They're not just decorative, they're part of history, originally meant to prevent shaving silver off old coins back when coins contained precious metals. In 1991, over 630 million quarters were minted at the Denver facility. That's a massive number. Yet, finding high-grade, untouched coins from this batch is far more difficult than you might think.
Why?
Because most of these quarters went straight into circulation, used daily in shops, vending machines, and parking meters. Over time, they developed scratches, dents, and marks that lowered their collector value. But if you're lucky enough to find a 1991 D quarter in mint condition, with a clean surface, full luster, and sharp strike, you could be holding something worth far more than 25 cents. In circulated condition, this coin is worth around 25 cents to $1. But in uncirculated condition, graded MS 65 or higher, it can fetch $20 to $40, sometimes more depending on collector demand and rarity. However, the real excitement begins when we talk about error coins, those rare mistakes that make a coin one of a kind. Off-center strikes, double die obverse, and missing clad layer errors are all possible in this year's issue. One known 1991 D quarter with a double die on "In God We Trust" sold for over $400 at auction. Another, missing the outer nickel layer, showing a copper core on one side, sold for more than $700. These are not myths, these are verified sales, proving that even a modern coin like the 1991 D quarter can turn into a collector's dream if found in rare condition. Now let's go back in time, to the early 1990s. America was changing rapidly. The Gulf War was happening, the Cold War had just ended, and technology was beginning to reshape the world. Amidst all this, coins like the 1991 D quarter became part of daily life, silently witnessing history. Imagine a coin minted in Denver, traveling across the United States. From a factory worker's paycheck to a student's lunch money, from gas stations to grocery counters, this coin circulated everywhere. Each scratch on its surface might tell a story, a memory of an era when life was simpler, when quarters still carried meaning beyond their value. Collectors often say that coins are time machines you can hold. The 1991 D quarter perfectly fits that saying. It connects us to the America of the early 90s, a time of optimism, growth, and national pride. When collectors evaluate the 1991 D quarter, one of the first things they consider is the coin's grade. Grading determines how well the coin has been preserved since it left the mint, and even the smallest detail can make a massive difference in value. The official coin grading scale goes from 1 to 70, known as the Sheldon scale. A grade of 1 means the coin is heavily worn, almost unrecognizable, while 70 represents a perfect, flawless specimen, a coin that looks exactly as it did the moment it was minted. A 1991 D quarter graded MS 60 might sell for just a few dollars. But if you find one graded MS 67 or higher, you're looking at serious collector value, sometimes over $100, depending on the market and demand. Coins graded by top agencies like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, carry even more credibility and value. These organizations use strict authentication and preservation methods to guarantee the coin's originality and condition. And yes, even modern quarters like this one can be found in proof versions. These proof coins were made with extra polishing and double strikes, giving them a mirror-like shine. They were never meant for circulation but for collectors who appreciated the art of minting. The proof versions of the 1991 quarter were struck at the San Francisco Mint, with an S mint mark. These are easily recognizable by their mirror-like background and frosted design. A proof 1991 S quarter can fetch $10 to $20, sometimes more in pristine condition. Now let's talk about a fascinating comparison: the 1991 D versus 1991 P quarters. The Philadelphia Mint, marked with P, and the Denver Mint, marked D, both produced massive numbers, but the Denver coins generally show stronger strikes and cleaner details. However, the Philadelphia coins tend to have slightly higher collector demand in gem grades because fewer of them survive in top-tier condition. That's why both versions have their own fan following in the coin collecting community. Collectors often use magnifying glasses or microscopes to study coins like this. They search for doubling in the letters, minting cracks, or rim errors. Each small flaw can transform a common coin into a rare discovery worth hundreds. Some 1991 D quarters have also been reported with a clipped planchet error, where a small curved piece of the metal is missing from the coin. These can sell anywhere between $100 and $500, depending on how visible and clean the error is. Others show partial collar errors, where the rim appears slightly expanded or misaligned. These minting accidents are incredibly rare and highly collectible among coin hunters. Collectors around the world often refer to the 1991 D quarter as the modern classic. It bridges the gap between the vintage Washington design era and the new millennium coinage that began in 1999 with the 50-state quarters program. For many Americans, this coin represents memories: the early 90s, when gas was cheap, phones had cords, and quarters still carried weight in everyday life. It's nostalgia in metal form. The beauty of this coin isn't just in its design, but in its purpose. Every quarter minted carried a story of economy, trust, and unity. It was money that powered a generation, symbolizing the daily rhythm of American life. Collectors say that when you hold an uncirculated 1991 D quarter in your hand, it feels like holding a piece of frozen history, untouched, unspent, and gleaming just like it did 34 years ago. From coin rolls to metal detectors, treasure hunters across the United States still search for these quarters in perfect shape. And once in a while, someone finds one, tucked away in an old drawer or jar, still shining like new. Auction records have shown that high-grade 1991 D quarters, especially those with striking luster and perfect surfaces, have crossed $250 to $300 at major coin events. The key is condition. Perfection pays in this world. Even though millions were minted, very few survived in MS 68 condition. These are nearly perfect coins, showing no wear, perfect centering, and strong details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. When you look closer, you'll realize that every design element, from Washington's portrait to the eagle's wings, was hand-sculpted and meticulously refined to honor American values. George Washington wasn't chosen at random. His face symbolizes leadership, sacrifice, and the birth of a new nation. The choice to feature him on the quarter reflected America's respect for freedom and responsibility. The phrase "In God We Trust" continues to stand as a pillar of American belief, a phrase that has traveled across every state, every hand, every decade, carrying both faith and identity. The Latin phrase "e pluribus unum" still carries weight: out of many, one. A reminder that no matter the diversity, the United States remains one people, united by shared values and purpose. Coins like the 1991 D quarter are not just collector's items, they're historical storytellers. They reflect how far the nation has come, and how every generation leaves its mark, not only in history books but in the currency we carry. Many collectors start their journey with coins like this. It's affordable, available, and full of meaning, a perfect piece for beginners and seasoned numismatists alike. If you ever come across a shiny 1991 D quarter in your change, take a moment to look closer. You never know, it could be a rare mint error or a nearly perfect gem that collectors are searching for. Over time, as more coins get lost, damaged, or melted, the surviving ones become rarer. That's how modern coins gain value, not overnight, but slowly, with patience and time. The market for Washington quarters remains strong. As more collectors join online communities, the demand for clean, graded coins continues to grow every year. So, whether you collect for passion, investment, or curiosity, the 1991 D quarter reminds us of why we collect at all: to preserve pieces of the past and pass them to the next generation. It's more than just money, it's art, it's memory, and it's legacy. A piece of history that continues to live through collectors, historians, and storytellers like you. Thank you for watching Legacy Coins USA. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the story, value, and beauty of the 1991 D Liberty Quarter Dollar. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for our next episode, where we uncover more treasures of American coin history. Until then, keep collecting and keep the legacy alive. United States Sparkles.